Hey guys, first fan of the night.
First fan of the mid-afternoon.
Yeah. Here with Andy. I have already filmed this C-18 adjustable, but Andy wasn't here for it, and since he particularly likes antiques and hunters of all eras, I wanted to make sure we got a video with him. So we're going to do a second video of this, and yeah, anything you want to say about it before we start the test?
Let's see, I haven't had a chance to really look at it yet. This is pretty cool. So this is probably the oldest antique hunter I've seen in operation. Looks like it has the what they call the adjustable system, which is like almost an early version of Adaptair, but better because you could do it while the fan was running, right?
Yep. And we will do that in the video.
And it's got this really neat coppery finish, which Dan was telling me they did their best to preserve.
Yeah, we had to basically sandblast the parts, but we tried to leave as much of the original copper as we could, and then we touched it up with copper and black paint to try to make the whole thing look like it was supposed to. But at the same time, also, we didn't want it was a deliberately not perfect restoration, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
Like we didn't, unlike the R52s that we did, or the where those are basically look like they're mint off the line. This is supposed to look a little relict, just because it was in such.
This egg is over here. It's Hunter Fan and Motor Company.
The one on the switch housing should have more information.
Okay, yeah, that one says Hunter Adjustable. Hunter Fan and Motor Company, Fulton, New York.
I should hit the head by turning the blades on now.
Can't quite tell. It's supposed to be a 1.9 amp, just like
Yeah.
all the later Hunters until the R&M era, or until the original era, basically.
Yep. Well, no, I think you're right. Well, yeah, until they switched production to Taiwan. Like, obviously they still have the windings here, but like the parts were made in Taiwan. That's when they went to the 2.5s.
No, the 2.5s are like the early two-speed R&M originals were 2.5.
Not the first two speeds. The first two speeds were still 1.9. I've got a 1.9 two-speed here somewhere.
Okay. Yeah.
Once they switched to the two-piece canopy that was hot metal or aluminum or whatever it is, they were 2.5. But some of the early ones with the plastic two-piece canopy were still 1.9, I think.
Gotcha. And then ribbed canopy, I've never seen that on a Hunter before.
That's the earliest canopy. And the six-blade ones, like I kind of halfway replicated in my house, would have used that canopy, and the Turek versions would have used that canopy, and then the very first adjustables would have used that canopy. That's one of the reasons why I bought this one and why I spent so much for it, is because I'd never seen one with the original canopy before.
Yeah, that's pretty unusual. And then we got the top of the motor housing looks similar to like the later ones, but not. There are some differences. It's a little bit like the holes are bigger.
It's the same as it's all the way to 1970. Those are 1970 ones over there, and those have the smaller holes.
Yeah.
But like the R52s that we restored have the same top casting as this one. They literally kept the same top casting from the early 1900s all the way until 69.
Okay.
And
that makes sense.
Interesting thing about this one, though. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Because these are the 22046
Yep.
with the trumpet canopy, but
Yep.
they have like the
Later casting,
later top casting,
which is
like
my
same
favorite
as-
variation.
Same as the original.
I like that casting better. It's a little chunkier.
Yeah.
But interesting thing about this one, doesn't have an oil port.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So where do you oil it?
You just have to get it in there.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I believe it's set to low. It's up to you whether you want to tack it and CFM it. We've already done that, but if you want to have it in your video, we can.
Yeah, I don't think we need to.
I would agree. I believe that's low. I'm letting it drop to make sure.
Because you have all the current draw values.
Yeah, I mean, it could be slightly different based on voltage fluctuations. But low last time was like 1.2. And again, it's an antique low, so it's still pretty fast.
Yep.
That seems like it might be medium. You want to turn it one more time and just double check? Either that or it's just drawing more current than it did last time. No, that was low because that's off. High. medium, low. You want to adjust it while it's running? You want to wait for high?
I can do that now. So we got updrafts.
Yep.
Downdraft again. I wonder why they dropped that. Honestly, that's such a cool way of doing it.
It took a lot of finagling to get it to work because of the years of paint and the years of grease and stuff like that. I'm sure this was much more failure prone than the Adaptair mechanism.
Probably. Okay, just gonna go to off. What are we drawing now?
1.5, about the same, ironically. But it is, I mean, there is a speed coil in there, and the speed coil does work. I have pretty thoroughly. So just as an example, the canopy was all the way down to bare metal. So what you see on the canopy is copper and black spray paint, whereas some of the motor paint is still the original. And the blades we completely refinished, and he did a really nice job on the high gloss paint.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get Rick to do his magic on the motor tag, because the motor tag has had years of yuck on it.
Yeah.
And so Rick's got a good way of shining those up. We'll let him do that. It's Rick magic.
Okay. See if I can seamlessly get my phone back onto the tripod here. Hand it over. Okay.
I mean, it's drawn more current. I think a lot of it has to do with the blade pitch, and again, since this blade pitch is adjustable, and since we had to take the mechanism apart and put it back together, we basically guessed at what the blade pitch should be, you know. Because if you have it too far one way, then it doesn't go far enough the other way. So we were finagling. We did a little bit on camera in the last video. I think this is about as good as it's gonna get. But you can adjust the blade pitch, like you can adjust how steep it is. Just you can't. The amount of travel is limited. If that makes sense.
Yeah. That's a little shallower. Oh, yeah, definitely speeding up.
We'll go. Yeah, that's like flat, pretty much. You want to reverse it all the way?
Feel any air down here?
Well, no, because it's going up. Well, ready for spin down? I think we did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Definitely some trial and error. There were several days where I thought we would test it, and then something wasn't quite ready yet, and that's why I kept telling you, come on over. And I thought we would, like Friday, I thought we would test it, but we didn't have the right size rubber grommets to go in the little wheel there. I don't even know what you call that, the little Adaptair ring. They were slightly too big. And that's what that tubing is for, so we can still try some other sizes, because it's still not quite the right size. Okay, I'm gonna hit the 10 switch. Did not start on 10. 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's starting on 13 this time. Oh, but it's stalled. 14, 15, 16, there's still a stiff spot. I'm pretty sure the stiff spot is in the little mechanism, not in the motor itself.
Should I give it a push?
No, I want to see
Or
where it
that'd
starts.
be cheating.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, yeah. That's
Give
quite stiff.
give it a nudge.
Yeah. 23 is where we are now.
It looks like you went around the down rod with the wires.
I did
instead
because
of up it.
Yeah, I did because I can't remember why. We had a reason. I mean, when we install it, we won't do that. But
I have seen pictures of installs where they've done that though.
yeah,
It
it's
looks
definitely a thing.
stupid, but I guess maybe they screwed the pipe on and then realized.
Yep.
they were-
What's funny is 23 is as high as you can go. That's where it started. So that was really stiff. But I mean, again, I hope it'll reacclimate. Especially because again, we couldn't. Again, once we hang it somewhere, and you know where I want to hang it. I haven't disclosed that on camera yet because I want that video to be a surprise. Although I think people can probably guess. I'll definitely do a better job of lubricating it. The problem is that some of the paint was still wet when we were doing our last video, so I didn't want to cover it with oil. And then I didn't want to do that today either because I'm hoping to take it down and move it. And so once it's in place, we'll do the final paint touch-ups, and then after that paint's dry, do the final oil touch-ups, and hopefully that'll be what it needs. But you see, I mean, it has a nice spin down
Yeah,
under the circumstances. So I'm just a little surprised that it doesn't. Well, at that time it started on 20, but you can still kind of see the rough spots. Pete's solid state is different than mine. Let's get stiff again. What is wrong? Is it completely stuck? I push with my hand. It's just...
Feel it vibrating.
Okay, I'll push it. Something stuck. Again, it's those, we had to rebuild that mechanism, and we're using rubber grommets from the hardware store, and that's what these bits of pipe are for, because these might be better suited for it, but then we have to take the whole thing apart. So the question is, do we want to take the whole thing apart just to test different rubber grommets? I think I'm gonna, again, I'll lubricate it with this first.
It looks like some of the blades have a little bit different pitch.
I mean, you can adjust them if you want to.
I mean, just one that's. No, I think it's because this blade is warped.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, one of the blades is a little.
Yeah, it doesn't look to be at the same angle as the others, but it probably is. At least at the
It's
iron.
sticking again. That's interesting. Could be the heat today too, making the rubber swell up.
Yeah, possibly. It's a little humid.
Tell you what I will do then. I think I did this in the last video too. I'll just put a little bit of the magic elixir in the channel here. Because I'm pretty sure where the sticking is happening. In that channel. starting on the solid state.
The magic of magic elixir.
Yeah. Like I said, we could always replace the rubber with one of these tubes. Which is what we had this originally, and it was just too big. Now we got a few different sizes to try. But yeah, that's where the issue is in that channel. Dead silent with the solid state though.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do 0 to high, and is there anything else you want to see? High ends up at being like 1.83. Where? How high do you think it's going to go?
I'll say. Well, I know it's going to be a big inrush.
Yeah.
I'll say. What did you say? 1.83.
Yeah.
I'll say 1.9.
I'll say 2. 2.24. Wow. No, 2.4.
Oh wow, that was way off.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Oh, now it's dripping oil.
Yeah. Probably have to touch up the paint on the switch housing, but you know, that's his life. Well, how handy is this fan? What kind of storm is it? Pete locked it in the storms category, but I couldn't remember which storm was the most powerful.
Yeah, 5 definitely. Although the 22046 like that is still in the late R52, which looks basically the same, except I've just today learned for having the older casting on the top.
That's the difference between the R52 and the 22. I learned that when I hung the hung the R52s in my bedroom and couldn't figure out why they looked different. And then I realized the difference is the top casting, because it makes the overall motor just a little slimmer. If you look at this motor, this is basically the same casting, it's just a little bit slimmer than those later motors.
Yep.
And I was like, why do these look different? And that's why.
So let's do one more 0 to high, and this time I want to be up close to it with the.
You want to do it in reverse?
Doesn't matter.
At the very least, you can reverse it with it stopped. We haven't shown that yet, I don't think. And then whether you keep it on reverse or put it back and forward, that's up to you.
Sure.
So I agree. The 22046 Adaptair is my very favorite Hunter anything. Original, anything that Hunter Fan Company put out. But
Okay, so here we're gonna do the.
this might be the coolest thing that Hunter put out.
Yep. Yeah, I think this is a little bit cooler than Adaptair, just because you can do it from down. Yeah, and it's easier to reach too. You don't have to reach right way up in here and finagle that little thing. Okay.
It's pretty cool looking too.
Yeah. All right. Dripping oil right onto my hands here. Okay.
Yep. Well, welcome to the barn.
Yes. Okay.
Ready for 0 to high?
Hit it.
Is it stuck again? Yep, it sure is.
Jeez.
Push it by hand, yeah.
Okay, let me zoom out.
That should be all it needs. I could probably put some lithium grease in there. I wonder if that would help. The WD-40 is pretty thin. I like the WD-40 because it's the easiest thing to get in there.
All right, oh, now that is flying.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we thank our sponsors?
Well, I'm gonna splice the video on the end of it unless you have it handy. The one with the actual voiceover work.
Oh yeah, I don't. Okay.
Yeah. I'll splice it on the end. So stay tuned for a message from our sponsors. Is this an F5?
Yes.
Okay. Well, please follow Andy's channel as well for additional fan content. As always,
It's under my full name, which is Andre.
Andre. He's français.
Oui, oui.
So yeah. But also don't forget to buy Pedro's and of course buy
Fan Stick!
Thanks
for watching.